The Village of Hainesville regular board meeting will now come to order at 7:06 p.m. on Tuesday, June 26, 2012. If everybody would please rise and join me, I'll lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call.
Mayor Linda Soto.
Present.
Trustees Dearnowski. Here. Crease. Here. Juberstein. Here. Barrett. Daly. Here. And Walkington will be late. For his absence.
Okay, before I ask for approval of agenda, I am going to ask for a slight modification. Our building official, Russ Crayley, needs to leave in order to attend another meeting he needs to be at tonight. So I would like to ask that he gives his brief report first, and then we'll move on to our guest speaker. So with that change, could I have a motion for the agenda as amended?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
I'm sorry. Trustees Dearnowski.
Aye.
Crease.
Aye.
Juberstein.
Aye.
Barrett.
Aye.
And Daly.
Aye.
And of course, we are indeed in quorum. We are short trustee Walkington, but he will be here in about 10 minutes. Okay, at this time, we'll give Russ Crayley, our building official, the floor.
Thank you. Got my report for the month of May. We did $2,210 in permit fees, 20 permits, 49 inspections. I did 30 complaints. I got most of those all resolved. And the latest issue is I was just out this afternoon over by George Ann's place over there on Apollo. We've got quite a few residents that are starting to decide that the conservation area is theirs again, trimming and planting and doing stuff in here. So next week I'm going to, instead of giving them a ticket here, I'm going to write them up a letter and attach it to a order ticket and then hang it on everybody's door. And I was just talking with Jeff, he's got quite a survey, or we got the covenant somewhere that...
I have the covenants in my office.
You do?
Yeah, because that's what I sent the letters off in the past.
Okay.
They know. That's why I told you, they know.
Yeah, I'm going to do one more. I'm going to put it all together, send the covenants with them again, a little blurb about it, but to just tell them this is the final warning. We're going to start the final. That's it. So, that's all I have.
Okay. Any questions for us before he skedaddles?
We need to do something so that the realtors tell the new owners that these covenants go with the houses, and I don't think everybody knows about it.
Well, it should be recorded on the plans,
I was going
right?
to say they get a copy of the closing.
Yeah, it should be on the title report.
It's on the title.
It is on the title,
Yep.
so they do get a copy,
Yeah.
even if the realtor doesn't.
Because we did that in the beginning to make sure.
It doesn't mean they read it and understand it.
Right. Yeah, that's the problem. I mean, it's all there because that was one of the original things that was asked for, to make sure everybody got it.
I think most of the violators are original owners anyway.
Which is interesting,
Right.
because they definitely.
I mean, they've never fixed what we've asked them to fix years ago.
Okay. Well, if you know of anybody else or see something, I want to start working on that next
And
week.
that's
Okay.
You
thanks.
can put up that green chain link fence.
George wants to
Thank you.
plan mine.
Okay, Russ, excuse you, have a good night. Okay, at this time, we're excited to say that we have some guest speakers to do a presentation for us tonight. And it's a school-based health center presentation, which would be utilized in the Round Lake School District area. And I'd like to introduce Brenda Banner. Brenda, I'll give you the floor.
Thank you. Love you, Jess. And I'm so glad, John, that you're here. So if I have any technical problems, okay.
Brenda, you may want to take the hand mic out.
Okay.
And that way, because we put this on YouTube, and that way the sound will get recorded.
I've never been on YouTube.
So,
this is the first. Okay. All right.
get out that autograph.
Yeah. Thank you for inviting us to come and present. I actually am representing a group of about 16 Round Lake area organizations, members of organizations who got together almost 2 years ago now to talk about the healthcare issues facing Round Lake youth, particularly impact that those health issues were having on academic performance at the schools. And so I was actually engaged by, I'm a consultant, a partner in Millennium Consulting, which is a firm that works with government and not-for-profit organizations. I was engaged by NACASA, who got money from the Healthcare Foundation of Northern Lake County to help guide the group in their thinking. Because actually the group had done some research before I was engaged and had identified the idea of the school-based health center as being a possibility. And so they wanted me to help them do some feasibility study to look at what this really was and if it was appropriate for Round Lake. And so what I want to do today is share with you, we're actually, the whole committee is going out and meeting with different organizations. You're actually the last village board that we met with. Actually, you're not last on purpose because Kathy, we've been going back and forth with dates. But anyhow, so we've gone out.
You saved the best for last.
Absolutely. You took the words next to Anyhow, so we're going to all the villages and we're meeting with parents, community groups to share what we've learned, but also to get community feedback and input. The first thing we did, as I said, this is very, I don't know, John and I tried to get this a little bit less crooked, but bear with me. The first thing we did was a feasibility study to really look at, so what's happening in the Round Lake area in terms of the youth who are attending, District 116. And this is just, and again, I'm not going to go into too much detail because you've got, I think Kathy, you said you passed out handouts to everybody, so a lot of the detail you have there. I want to just sort of hit the high points, and please feel free to stop me in the middle and ask questions. I'd like this to be iterative, okay? We looked at some of the demographics and we saw there's a huge trend over the past 11 years in two areas, both the percent of students eligible for free and reduced lunch and also looking at the race and ethnicity of the student population. There have been huge changes. The first on the left, students who are eligible for free and reduced lunch, that's actually another way to look at poverty level. And so you'll see here from, in 1999, 41% of the students were eligible, and here in 2011, 64%. So that means that about 2/3 of the students in District 116 are eligible for free and reduced lunch, which means that their families are experiencing economic challenges. And then on the right, race and ethnicity, you'll see that from 1999 to today, there's been a huge shift where today 70% of the student population, again more than 2/3, are Hispanic. So really the face of the school has changed. What do we know about health of the Round Lake area youth? Actually, on our committee, we're representatives from the district, one of whom is the health coordinator for the Round Lake District school. So she was able to provide some really interesting and important information to us. In October 2011, approximately 138 students were excluded from the Round Lake area schools, and that's because they weren't in compliance with their physicals and immunizations. So according to the state, by October 15th, if you're not compliant, you need to be excluded. And you'll see later as I'm talking, some of the reasons for this is lack of access to doctors, some economic challenges. So, you know, the kids subsequently did come back to school, but that's time where they didn't have seat time and also money that the district lost when they weren't in school. The district has been working with Illinois, they've been giving the Illinois Youth Survey, which is administered to middle school and high schoolers And it's a self-administered test. It really looks at risk behaviors. So in 2010, we just hot off the press, we got the 2012 information, and it's really not that different from what we saw here. Nothing really has changed except perhaps gone up a little bit. 17% of the students, it's over 1,200 students, reported a mother-only living arrangements. And there's a lot of risk factors that can be connected to living in mother-only situations. And that 17% is actually similar to what the Chicago numbers are. Most concerning was 13% of 10th graders, and actually this has bumped up a little bit this year. 15% of 11th graders and 13% of 12th graders seriously considered committing suicide in the past 12 months. And actually this year, in this year's study, 36% of 12th graders, and I believe 33% of 12th graders, said that they had been so sad that they, I can't remember what the period of time was, the two-week period that they had stopped doing their normal activities, that they were so depressed, so over 36%. Also binge shrinking rates, these actually have gone up in the 2012 reports as well. And also there is a significant issue with pregnant teens. Between 2009 and 2012, there have been at least 120 pregnant teens in the Round Lake district. And we didn't say high school because actually several of those were actually in the middle school. You may have read in the papers that nationally the national trend is that teen pregnancy is going down. And actually in some of the communities around here, Waukee and North Chicago, the numbers have been going down. They haven't been going down here in Round Lake. They're pretty much consistently about 52, 53 girls that we know of that are pregnant. So this is sort of what the health status looks like. The health coordinator told us that about 30, we're only looking at the high school here, 30 to 35 kids come to the health services office every day for a wide range of complaints. But 15 to 20 are sent home because they are not able to meet their needs. So that's a large number of kids who are missing school. And I'm not going to again go into you can on your own look at the reasons that they come, and these are the services that they provide. On the next page, these are the types of things that they come with that they can't meet their needs and they need to send them home. But what's most important is to know that about half of the kids that come in can't meet their needs. So what do we know about access to health care for Round Lake area youth and their families? This information comes from some reports that have been done by several of the foundations in Lake County and also focus groups that we led with parents, both Latino parents and non-Latino parents of the middle school and high school kids. And I don't think any of this is going to come as a big surprise to any of you sitting here, that there are limited primary health care options, that it's a really long time to get an appointment. Some people would say, well, the Lake County Health Departments are very hard to get an appointment there. Long waiting lists. Families travel very far to get care. Some of the focus groups, parents were saying that they traveled to Melrose Park, they traveled to the city to seek care for their children. They themselves, interestingly, most of them are using either Walgreens or Walmart, or CVS or Walmart for their care, but not for their children's care. And it's also very difficult. People talk at length about how hard it was to find specialty care. Transportation is a huge issue. A lot of people don't have their driver's licenses, things are very far, and there just isn't enough transportation. And then increasingly families cannot afford care. And I had so many parents in these focus groups who either had just lost their jobs, were really worried about losing their jobs, and so it wasn't just the families who were on Medicaid, but the families who were really facing, looking at a different kind of life for themselves. And then child care and work challenges. So, as I said, the committee was very interested in this notion of school-based health centers as a possibility